Hey, physics parents and guardians. My name's Matt Hare, and I wanted to just take a minute to introduce myself to you. What I've got for you today, I just have a quick 6-minute video on what your child needs, ways we can communicate with one another, and how you can help them succeed. It's a question I get all the time. What can I do? So I just wanted to take a moment to introduce myself in case you ever happen to run into me or in the school or in the halls or out in the community. I just wanted to say hi, just so you can kind of put a face with a name early on. The first thing I want to talk about is what your child needs for class. There's 4 major things that they're going to need in class. The first thing they're going to need is a 3-ring binder. We're going to be getting a lot of worksheets, a lot of notes, and a lot of quizzes that need to go into that 3-ring binder. The next thing they need is a scientific calculator. Now, a scientific calculator, it doesn't need to be a graphing calculator. The graphing calculators have that really big screen. The only thing that your student needs is it needs to have a sine button, S-I-N, a cosine button, C-O-S, and a tangent button, T-A-N. It needs to have these 3 buttons right here. That's what qualifies a scientific calculator. The next thing that they're going to need is a compass and a protractor. So the compass thing, that's what you draw circles with, and the protractor is what measures angles. Those are the 4 things they're going to need for physics class. The next thing I want to talk about is communication. I made this to open those lines of communication early, and I want to open them often. The easiest way for me is I send out text reminders, and I do this with the students too. The biggest headache for me is getting students to watch the homework. When I say watch the homework, they have to watch videos like you're watching this video now. That's going to be my homework. I do something what's called a flipped classroom, where we're going to be doing the homework in class with me, working with their peers, working with myself, and all the definitions and instruction comes outside of class. And students often have a hard time getting that done. So what I've done is I signed up for this service. It's called Remind, and what you do is you just send a text message to this number right here, and then this is what you put in the message. It's going to send you a message back saying you're in, what name do you want to be assigned to you. It comes to me through their web portal, and it's just got your name. I won't know your number, you won't know my number, but when assignments are given, I can send out message reminders saying, hey, your student got an assignment tonight, can you make sure and help them watch that? The students sign up for it too. The students get a message saying, hey, there's a video tonight to watch, please remember to do so. It's a really slick little service, and I like it a lot, and the kids seem to get a lot out of it. The next thing I want to talk about is their grades. How do you read their grades? For physics specifically, I've got 3 categories. The first category is the most important, is their test. 60% of their grade is going to be based on the tests they take with me, and there's going to be 4 every quarter. So we'll get 12 throughout the entire year. Now you can see up here that their grade, this is a random person's grade printout, that there's 3 main parts. Tests is one, quizzes are going to be the other part, and extra credit is the third part. Now this extra credit is the part that I wanted to address really quick with you. When students watch a video, I have them take a quick 4-question quiz. Did they watch the video? I want to know if they watched the video. So what I'm doing is I'm giving them 1 bonus point on their test. So if they get like an 89 on the test, and if they watch 2 of the videos, that bumps them up to a 91. I'll add 2 points. So I actually keep track of these in the grade book, but they're worth 0% of their grade. So that's kind of the 3 things that you're going to see. You're going to see extra credit, like this person watched 20 out of 23 possible videos. They got a 91% on their quizzes, and a 92% on their tests. And so their grade ends up being total, well, this is their term 1 grade, term 2, semester 1 exam. So their full semester 1 grade was a 92%. So if you have any more questions about their grade, how I grade it, please feel free to ask. The next part is absences. Along with tests being so important, I expect students to take those tests if they have a pre-arranged absence. Like we all know that there's things that come up that they didn't plan for. That's not a problem. But sporting events, family vacations, clubs, doctor's appointments, college visits, field trips, these are all things that are prearranged. And my tests, the students know about the tests at least a week in advance, so they need to make sure that they take that test. Otherwise, I'm going to dock them 10% for being irresponsible. So they can take the test before school, they can take the test after school, they can take the test during their pride time, or they can take the test during their study hall. They can even take the test during class the day before. So while they're in, there should be no excuse for them not to be able to find a time to work with me to take a test. All I ask is that they communicate. We can always work something out if they can't. And then the last part I want to talk about, how can you help your student? I boiled this down to kind of 7 big things. The first one is the most important in my opinion, is help them be proactive. So many times students, they take a hit, like they'll get a bad test back and then they give up. Help them be proactive and come to me and say, hey, Mr. Hare, I didn't do so hot on this test. What can I do differently? Help them take control and be proactive in their education. Like, I really need some help. You know what? I'd like to see you go in and ask Mr. Hare for help. Help them be proactive and not reactive. Help them to set goals. These goals can be can be grade goals, they could be involvement goals, they could be goals with, I really want to limit my screen time. I really want to limit my social media. I really want to set aside this time every day to do homework. Have them set those goals and have them write those goals down. Help them prioritize, especially in Platteville where kids are really involved in a lot of things, and we think that's really important. A really important part of the Hillman Way is to be involved. Help them choose wisely. If they're in too many things, it can really be a detriment. You cannot be a jack of all trades and a master of all of them. Something's going to end up suffering. Help them prioritize what's most important in their life and make sure they get that in. Think win-win. This is an important one for you and I. I'm here to help your students. I really am, and I can't stress that enough. Like, I want to be on the same team as you. This is not Mr. Hare versus you. It's not you versus Mr. Hare. We are working together to help build these people into respectful and responsible citizens. I really want to help you raise this person and to do their best in physics. Be a listener. Sometimes they need to vent. Sometimes physics is going to be frustrating. Be that outlet for them. Like, be a good listener. I think kids are their own best psychologists a lot of times if you just let them vent what they need to say. Work with them. This doesn't mean that you have to sit down and do the work, because this work gets pretty complicated, and I don't know where you are. Some of you are on incredible spectrums. Some of you know a lot more than me about physics. Some of you don't know much at all about physics. Work with your students to get help. Like, if you see them struggling with things, hey, do you need a ride tomorrow? Maybe you need to go in and see Mr. Hare to just talk, and please do that. The best students in my class are always the ones who are able to ask for help. Work with those students to get that help. And then here's one that you might not even think of. Help them relax. Make sure some of the kids I get in physics, they are really high achievers. These are kids who are going places, and they need to unwind. Make sure they have time to sharpen their saw. They are great individuals, and I don't want to see them have nervous breakdowns because of challenges. There are times set aside during the year, weekends, spring break, winter break, summer break. These are times where these kids should be getting rest and relaxation. So I thank you for your attention. This is all I have for you. Please feel free to give me a phone call or an email if you have any other concerns or questions about the class or anything you can do. I would love to chat. Thanks a lot, and we'll be seeing you guys soon.